Irish, I suppose the Irish background to Boston is, for many people, you would think that's where the music would lie and would remain, but it has broadened out the table.
It has very, very much so. In Scotland, you know, given what has happened in Scotland itself, I think Scotland currently is kind of going through a similar period that Ireland went through perhaps back in the 70s into the early 80s. A lot of young people coming into the music, taking their basic traditional influences and stretching the edges of it, but in a way that's very secure with the core value of what Scottish music is. That's similar to Cape Breton music. There's a lot of Cape Breton music here. But really what has happened is that those scenes have come together. Even when I was here in Boston in the early 1980s and very much involved in music, there was an Irish traditional music scene that was very disconnected from any Scottish music scene. And Scottish traditional music was very much different than a very strong Scottish country dance scene, which, you know, had just a different vibe to it. Bluegrass musicians would hardly talk to Appalachian old-time musicians, and if you walked into an Appalachian party or an Appalachian old-time musical gathering and you started playing bluegrass, you would be turfed out in the ear. It was regarded as an insult. So all of those scenes were quite separate. And they also, I think, one of the large reasons is that those folkies of my generation and older kind of carried with them a burden of preservation. What I see happening today is kids, young people are playing the music just because, hey, it's great crack to play this music. So in many ways, it's freed it from the shackles of preservationism.
And what about the kind of the mainstream, say the rock and pop scene in Boston? Is that flourishing?
It is absolutely flourishing, and that's what you see as well. Quite frankly, is a lot of these musicians who are terrific roots-based musicians, very, very much at ease in that genre, and are often incorporated into it, and vice versa. Rock and rollers coming to see trad musicians. So it's a very, very vibrant place to be currently, Boston. It's definitely a golden era for this type of music.
It's really